What if I told you that ancient yogis figured out a hack for ADHD thousands of years ago before we even had a name for it, and now modern neuroscience is finally catching up? Welcome to Longevity Lifestyle, where we blend ancient healing wisdom with modern science to bring you natural solutions that actually work. And today, we're diving into Trataka, a yogic concentration practice that's been fixing scattered minds for millennia. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how a simple technique can literally change your brain's wiring. And you'll have practical steps you can start using today to reclaim your focus without medication. But before we get into how Trataka works, we need to talk about what's actually happening in the ADHD brain. Because here's the thing, your inability to focus isn't a character flaw, it's neurochemistry. And once you understand the science behind why your brain craves distraction, you'll see exactly why staring at a flame for 10 minutes might be the most powerful thing you can do. Sounds like something your hippie aunt would suggest, right? Well, maybe, but she's not wrong. Okay, let's be real for a second. If you're watching this video, chances are you've experienced at least some of these scenarios. Let me paint you a picture. You start a task with the best of intentions, and within 5 minutes, you're down a Wikipedia rabbit hole about 16th century hat making. I bet you've got 20 browser tabs open right now, don't you? But then you sit down and try to focus on something you really need to focus on, and reading that feels like trying to run through quicksand. And don't even get me started on trying to meditate. Closing your eyes and sitting still? Not happening. Sound familiar? You are not alone. In recent years, more people than ever are being diagnosed with ADHD, affecting roughly 8% of children and 5% of adults worldwide. But here's what nobody tells you. The ancient yogis were dealing with this exact same issue thousands of years ago. They just called it a restless mind instead of giving it a clinical diagnosis and medication. Quick question before we dive deeper. Have you ever tried traditional meditation and found yourself more distracted than you were when you started? Drop me a comment and let me know your biggest struggle with focus. I read every single one, and sharing your experiences lets others know they're not alone. All right, now let's take a minute to understand what's happening in your brain. You've heard of dopamine, right? Well, think of dopamine as your brain's fuel, the stuff that keeps your focus steady and your motivation engine running. But here's the kicker. People with ADHD have more dopamine transporters than usual. That means that just as your brain is revving up, a cleanup crew comes in and sweeps away the very fuel you need to stay on task, and you're left running on fumes before you even get started. But wait, there's more. You know that thing where you can't stop your mind from wandering even when you're trying to concentrate? That's got a name. It's called the default mode network, or DMN for short. It's your brain's daydreaming function. In most people, it turns off when it's time to work, but in ADHD brains, it stays on full blast all the time. It's like trying to concentrate while somebody's blasting obnoxious music right next to you. Now, here's where this gets really interesting, and it's something Ayurveda has been shouting about for 5,000 years. Your gut makes your brain chemicals. Yeah, you heard that right. None of this starts in your brain. It starts in your digestive system. Welcome to the mind-body connection, or as researchers call it, the gut-brain axis. Your gut isn't just digesting food, it's actually making your brain chemicals. Sidestep for a moment, up to 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, not your brain. Serotonin is your body's natural mood stabilizer. It helps you feel calm, centered, and emotionally balanced. And here's how it relates. It also influences how well your brain responds to dopamine, the chemical that drives motivation and focus. So when your gut is inflamed or out of balance, serotonin levels drop, dopamine signaling gets disrupted, and your attention and mood start to swing all over the place. Studies show that people with ADHD have a different mix of gut bacteria compared to those without it. They often have fewer of the good microbes and produce fewer short-chain fatty acids, which are tiny compounds your gut makes that actually help your brain produce dopamine. So, when we talk about fixing ADHD naturally, we can't just focus on the brain. We also have to address the gut. Ayurvedic physicians have understood for millennia that when your digestion is compromised, your mind suffers, and vice versa. And modern science is finally starting to get with the program. So, how does staring at a candle fix all this? Well, the mechanism is so elegantly simple, it's almost ridiculous. But before I explain that, you need to understand what Trataka actually is and why yogis consider it one of the most powerful practices in their toolkit. Trataka, which literally means steady gazing in Sanskrit, is one of 6 cleansing techniques described in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is a yogic text that dates back to the 15th century. But unlike the other kriyas that involve things like nasal cleansing or stomach washing, Trataka is all about the eyes, and by extension, the mind. The practice is deceptively simple, and I'll break it down for you in just a minute. But first, let's talk about why it works. Thousands of years ago, yogis realized that there's a direct connection between eye stability and mental stability. When your eyes are darting around, which happens constantly in ADHD, your mind is scattered. But when you train your eyes to hold still, something remarkable happens to your attention. The ancient texts claimed that Trataka could destroy all eye diseases, remove sloth, and close the doorway to mental distractions. And while we can't quite verify that it cures all eye diseases, modern science is backing up those other claims in a big way. Get this. Researchers have found that after just one 20-minute Trataka session, people got better at attention tests. We're talking better focus and less impulsivity in just one session. Another study showed better memory and concentration. These are exactly the things that ADHD brains struggle with the most. If this is blowing your mind right now, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this video with more people looking for natural solutions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now too, so you can stay in the loop. Okay, so how exactly does staring at a flame rewire your brain? Brain scans show that it directly activates your prefrontal cortex, the exact part of your brain that's weak when you have ADHD. By forcing your visual system to maintain focus on a single point, you're essentially doing bicep curls for your attention muscles. And remember that daydream mode that won't shut off? Trataka quiets it down. You're teaching your brain to focus on one thing and ignore the noise. Over time, your brain gets better at concentrating and more resilient to wandering. Plus, it helps you use dopamine more efficiently, working with what you've got instead of against it. Alright, so how do you actually practice this? Here's your step-by-step guide. First, find a nice, quiet space to set up. You'll want to be in a dark or dimly lit room with no breeze so that the flame doesn't dance around too much. Sit comfortably with your spine straight, either in a chair or on the floor, whatever works best for you. Place a taper candle with the flame at eye level about 2 feet away. Start by just looking at the flame with a soft, relaxed gaze. You're not aggressively staring. Think of it more like you're interested in the flame and want to observe it. Then allow your eyes to relax enough so that you see double. For my Gen X and older viewers, if you remember those magic eye posters, do that with your eyes. And then try not to blink for as long as possible. You want your eyes to start to water. This is part of the cleansing. Once you feel the urge to blink, close them gently and visualize the flame in your mind's eye for as long as you can hold the image. If you're brand new to this, not blinking for that long might feel impossible at first, but it quickly becomes doable. Start with just 5 minutes a day and then work your way up to 10, then 20 minutes over the course of a few weeks. Honestly, you don't even need to time it. You'll naturally just start to go longer. Consistency matters more than duration. 5 minutes daily beats 20 minutes once a week, no matter what you're doing. That's how neural pathways are formed. The best time of day to practice is either in the morning before sunrise and before your day gets chaotic, or in the evening after sunset to wind down. You could even do both. Some people report better sleep quality when they practice Trataka before bed. A quick note here, you might hear more modern interpretations of this practice suggesting you can gaze at any fixed point, but that is a different practice. Traditional Trataka uses a candle flame and not a random object because fire is purifying. The flame represents Agni, which is the inner fire that burns away impurities and distractions. The fire itself is what helps clear your mind and sharpen your inner vision. Here's what I love about Trataka. It's a perfect example of how ancient wisdom and modern science aren't at odds. They're two different languages describing the same truth. The ancient yogis didn't have MRI machines or knowledge about dopamine receptors, but through thousands of years of experimentation with consciousness, they figured out that a steady gaze creates a steady mind. And now, science is proving they've been right all along. But here's the key. You can't separate mind from body or brain from gut. Trataka trains your brain directly, but if you really want results, you have to support your gut too. Helping your gut can actually help your brain focus. Simple moves like eating whole foods and cutting back on sugary or inflammatory snacks can go a long way. Once you recognize that some of our oldest solutions are also our most powerful and you start applying them, healing happens on multiple levels simultaneously. So try Trataka for yourself. Commit to just 5 minutes a day for 1 week and notice what happens. Then come back and tell me about it in the comments. Now, are you ready to learn even more about natural solutions to modern problems? Then check out this video right here. And remember, longevity isn't luck, it's a lifestyle. Until next time.